Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.
What's going on, y'all? This is Huggie Pacino for the Huggie Pacino Effect, back with another video. Emergency shelter for homeless LGBTQ plus youth to open in South Memphis. Of all places, South Memphis. A new, unique project springing up in South Memphis neighborhood intends to address a growing issue of homelessness. Keep in mind, it said address a growing issue of homelessness now. The Metamorphosis Project, an emergency shelter, is a space that was once just an empty, grassy lot on Southern Avenue. Unlike most housing, this shelter is almost entirely made from steel shipping containers. I did that by watching polite. Anyway, we were trying to think of something different and unique, and the containers are already made. Out of Memphis Development and Education Director Stephanie Reyes said, "They're there, and we're trying to save money and save time. We thought that would be a good route to go." Reyes said, when finished, the shelter will look totally different and will address the crisis that Memphis is not fully prepared to handle. Brace yourself. The project is an effort to help youth ages 18 to 24 who are LGBTQ plus and are experiencing homelessness. Let's go back up here. So you said in the article, the neighborhood intends to address a growing issue of homelessness. But you have to be a certain type of individual to be addressed. Let's continue. There's been a lot of national studies that I've found up to 40% of the youth on the street identify as LGBT, Ray said. Out Memphis, the local resource for counseling, support, and housing assistance for LGBT community is finally seeing a 5-year dream take root. We do know that we continuously have young people coming to the center looking for shelter and emergency shelter, and we're very limited on options here in Memphis. The overnight shelter will house 4 people for up to 30 days. A dropout center at the same location will provide shelter for anyone under the age of 25 years old. Not specifically LGBTs, but any young person who is in need of being connected to emergency services. So what they do, they try to clean it up. Not specifically LGBTQs, but any young person who's in need of being connected to emergency services. Ray said studies have found the main cause of LGBTQ plus homelessness is family rejection or youth who are kicked out when they come out. I want y'all to think about that for a moment. Is family really kicking people out at 18? Because when you're 18, you're an adult. Their age range is listed 18 to 24. So if you have a cousin that's 18 years old, you need to be able to graduate high school, go to college, get a job, go on. And especially if you're 19 or 20 or 21 or 22, 23 or 24. So I can understand if you said like 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. I understand that. But we're talking about adult ages of 18 to 24. But let's continue. I've had a lot of programs participants whose parents threw a duffel bag on their 18th birthday at midnight and we're done. I don't have to take care of you anymore, Ray said. Plans are for the emergency shelter to be completed by mid-January 2020 if the weather cooperates. They said that people throw their kids out at their 18th birthday at midnight and say, we're done. I don't have to take care of you anymore. Wow. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but that's not an epidemic. I promise it isn't. Anyway, let's check out the video.
A year and a half ago, nothing but grass growing on this empty lot on Southern Avenue. Today, the Metamorphosis Project is springing up here. It's an emergency shelter to help youth 18 to 24 who are LGBT and homeless. The shelter is being constructed almost entirely from these steel shipping containers.
We were trying to think of something different and unique, and the containers are already made and they're there, and we were trying to save money and save time, and so we thought that would be a good route to go.
Stephanie Reyes says when finished, the shelter will look totally different and will address a crisis that Memphis isn't fully prepared to handle.
There's been a lot of national studies that have found that up to 40% of youth on the street identify as LGBT.
Out Memphis, the local resource for counseling, support, and housing assistance for the LGBT community is finally seeing a 5-year dream take root.
We did know that we continuously had young people coming to the center looking for shelter, emergency shelter, and we're very, very limited in options in Memphis.
An overnight shelter here will house 4 people for up to 30 days. A drop-in center at the same location will provide shelter for anyone under 25.
Not specifically LGBT youth, but any young person who's in need of being connected.
I wanted to hear her say that. It sounded like she was so, didn't want to just discriminate against people who do need a place to stay. So she had to clean it up. You see what I'm saying?
2 emergency services.
Reyes says studies have found the main cause of LGBT homelessness is family rejection, youth who are kicked out when they come out.
I've had lots of program participants who've come in whose parents threw a duffel bag on their 18th birthday at midnight, or and we're done. I don't have to take care of you anymore.
Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3.
I want to say this. Youth homelessness. This project is put together based on, let's just keep it real, based on sexuality, their preference, so to speak. There's a lot of youth homelessness based on behavior, mental health, and a lot of those people need a place to stay too. And I understand we do have things in place for those people who do suffer from mental health and etc. I get that. But the idea of this particular thing that they're putting together based on LGBTQ plus, it's a good thing. I'm not neglecting it or denying that it's a good idea. My thing is that homelessness needs to be something that needs to be addressed across the board, regardless of your sexuality, preference, color, etc. You know, there's a lot of people out here homeless as veterans, and a lot of veterans don't get that same type of help when they should. And that's just one problem. Homelessness in Memphis in general is something that should never be happening. It's too much space, it's too much money around here for people to be homeless. But I do like the step that they're taking, because they are taking a step to say, well, we're going to take care of our people. Based on race, a lot of us don't even want to take care of each other when we're black. So I do have a common respect here for the fact that they're willing to take these steps, because they can unite under one principle. We're going to take care of each other, whether it takes our own money or other people's money or other benefits. So I do respect that. Now, I'll speak for black people real quick. I don't know if you're paying attention, but these people, they band together and do what they need to do to take care of each other. It's 2019, it's about to be 2020. When do you plan on building as a group or community? Because a lot of us are already together, but we can't even get along in the same neighborhoods we live in. Can't band and can't bring our money together to expand and build to where we can have this same type of building for people who are homeless in our neighborhoods, and etc., etc., etc. you should be learning something. But instead, you plan. The thing about planning to do these type of things, it's all about wanting to do it. We have the money. Case in point, it's Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, we're going to be spending millions of dollars across the country. Most of that money is going to be blacks. And if it's not majority, probably half, roughly. A good 20, 30, maybe 40%. Probably a good estimate. One thing for sure, I might be wrong about the percentage, but one thing we do know is black people going to be spending their money on Black Friday and beyond. That's a guarantee. You could take that money and say, we're not spending our money on Black Friday. We're not spending our money on these holidays. We're going to keep our money in-house. We're going to take care of each other. We're going to start building our own homeless shelters for our own people. Of color, I might add. That's just a start. Shout out to the ones who are taking those steps. I just thought I'd introduce this hard story to y'all because there's a bigger meaning here. Maybe we all, as black people in general, should take these type of steps instead of fighting each other. It's Huggie Pacino for the Huggie Pacino Effect. I'm out. Peace.
Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.